Yeah, hi, my name is Kshow, the maestro, smartest mouth in the cell. So good you got to coordinate twice. And I'm on to my first time. The idea is I'm going to answer lots of, at least a couple of questions as per my first time when it comes to a lot of things. I'm trying not to say concerning because of my producer. Okay, and I promise to be as honest as possible to my level of convenience. So I have the questions here, and I'll start picking them one by one once my guys behind the camera say that I should. What was your first cell phone? Okay, my first cell phone was a 3310. I got my first cell phone quite early. It was, I think, 2002, 2003. My father was a voice of what were they called then? Equinet then. You know, but the crazy thing is, my first cell phone, my first line was an MTN, and those were the days in UI when the signal wasn't that strong. In Ibadan, you'll have to climb a chair before you could receive a phone call. I miss those days. Anyway, it was really like, you know, it was classy having, it was sexy having a phone, and few people had phones then. Nowadays, all of you guys have phones. You don't know the feeling. Okay, so my first cell phone was a 3310. Let's get to the next one. On to the next one. I hope I see the terrible writing. Who's this? What was your first fan moment? It depends. I've been doing this for quite some time. Then it depends on my fan moment, as whether as an OAP or whether as an artist. And there have been like millions of fan moments but I can say maybe the one that stands out the most, right? I think it was still doing my music days, and I was courting with a friend around the ABBA. Then because I didn't feel that many people, you know, like knew me or know me, we were strolling to a bar around like 8:30. Then I think there's a girl that stays on the street where the bar is, and so my friend happened to know her. So while they were talking, I think I said something, and she just looked at me and she was like, "Kshow," and I'm like, "No, it's not me." And she was like, "I know your voice, okay?" She looks at me and she's like, "Kshow," and we had sex the following day. So that's my. So let's move on. I was young, okay, I was young. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, and she was very fine. Her name was Tolu. Let's move to the next one. What was the first crazy rumor you heard about yourself? I think the one I heard the most is that I'm married. No, that I have a child. I don't have a child. I could have had children. Could have had lots of children. And I think that's the one. It's always that I'm married. I'm not married. I'm above marriage age, but I'm not married. I'm still single and searching. When was your first public fight? It depends. Public fight as in physical or verbal. I have lots of verbal fights. I'm very strong when it comes to the verbal one. As you can see me, physically, I'm not exactly the strongest. First physical fight, I think it was in my university days, like public fight. I don't remember ever having. I tell people all the time that I've never lost a fight because I hardly get into fights. You can't lose something you don't get into. But this particular one, it was my friend Shako Pedro B was there. I think it was in our house in Mokola while I was still in UI. So it couldn't really have been. We can't really call it pop. There were like 9-10 of us guys. My girlfriend then, Cynthia, Shako's girlfriend. So that's what I would call my first public fight, and it's my only public fight, if that's even a public fight. That was in UI then. I avoid fights. I like my face, and I like being alive. Don't fight. Before I move to the next one, the fight, I'm trying to remember what caused the fight, but I think it was I think he disrespected me in front of my girlfriend, and the male ego thing, you know, that you have to respond so she doesn't look at you like a sissy, blah 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 blah. Eventually I think he had a swollen mouth, he had a swollen lip, and I had like a swollen eye or something. Then when we saw each other the following day, I was like, how's your lip, how's your eye? We're like that close. Real guys, that's how we fight and make up. Let's move on to the next one. Who was your first celebrity crush? Local or foreign? I think my first celebrity crush, foreign. I think I had growing up. I think I had my crush on Janet Jackson. Yeah, I think foreign. A local. While I was a kid, I had a crush on Oyeko Wino. Yeah, I think I can think that far back. Yeah, but I had a crush on Oyeko Wino. A lot of you might not even know who that is. She was fine then. She's old now. She was fine. You're all going to get old, and you will not be as fine as you are now. When was your first kiss? I was in secondary school. Her name was Yemi. Yemi. I can't mention her name because her father was the VC of UI while I was in UI. But we had the kiss before I even got into UI, and it was what year was it? I don't remember the year. I've been around for quite some time, but it was I think it's the worst kiss I ever had, because obviously she wasn't too. It was my first, so I hadn't mastered it. I'm a master now. Neither had she, and it was like she was going to. She had bigger lips, not like they were fat lips, but like she had like. It was like she was going to swallow like my whole freaking head. It was very uncomfortable. It was terrible, and I was thinking like if they said this is what kiss would be like, I might desist from kissing. But thank God that I kissed better kisses after that, and now I love kissing. So my first kiss was I think 96. When was the first time you went live on air? And that was in that was 1990. I was still was in OGBC. My father was working at OGBC then. That's Ogun State Broadcasting. That was like virtually the hottest radio station in Nigeria then, in case you don't know. My father's a broadcaster. I think I used to go to the studio with him a lot. He knew this is what I always wanted to do from day one. So I think that was a day, So that was my first time live on air was 1990. I think it was 1993 or 1994. Yeah, OGBC. When was your first job? Depends. I didn't officially work for. Okay, my first job was doing my service years, but it wasn't official. It wasn't like I was. It was Eminent Advertising, Ikeja, but I think I was there for just a couple of months because I always wanted to do the music thing, and after that I was working on my own. I was making money off music, I was making money off entertainment, I was making money off diesel supplies and all. My first official job that I was working for someone that I was getting paid for was Radio Continental. That was 2000. I think that was 2010, 2009, 2010. So that's my first official job, but I had been on my own for a long time before then. I never wanted to work for anybody. I'm not somebody that likes rules like that. I'm not, so my first official job was radio. What is the date of the first time you had sex? Yeah, mad. The dates. I think first I had sex was 1990. I don't know the date. I can't remember the date. Come on. It was 1990. Was 1996. Yeah, 1996. 1996. Her name was Anifa. She was a year older than myself, and I liked her. I was like one of the hottest guys in the area, so everybody thought I was having constant sex. But I was a nerd. I'm still a nerd. I was a nerd, so I wasn't even really good at talking to women then. But the thing is, I was a fine boy, so everybody thought I was having constant sex. So the first time was really short. It was really short. And no, actually, we didn't finish the first time because her brothers came back home from school. We didn't finish the first time, so I had to run. I went home with a condom on my penis. Yeah. Yes. Yep. And then the second time we did it was the first time, and I think I must have been like literally like a 1 minute man, and she was in shock. But I couldn't tell her that, like, this is my first time. Me shaking it right now. You know. So she was in shock. She thought I was like a bad guy, and it was very short. But I've made up for it. Ask all my ex-girlfriends. Oh yeah. When was your first heartbreak? Cynthia. Cynthia was what? Yeah. And it wasn't even her fault. I left her for somebody else. I was like playing both sides, and I was in love with two beautiful women. One was dark-skinned Vicky. Cynthia was light-skinned. I was dating Cynthia before I met Vicky. Then I met Vicky, and I was young. So I was like, eventually Vicky had to threaten me, like, it's either her or Cynthia. Then I went for Vicky, but I was still chopping Cynthia on the side. Eventually Cynthia met another guy, which always happens, met another guy, and she dumped me, and I couldn't sleep. OJB was still alive, then rest in peace, I was in his house, and I couldn't sleep. I had to call him up. OJB had to take me out, and I just sat down somewhere crying. Meanwhile, there was another girlfriend. It was me that was messing up. So I'll say that was my first heartbreak. I couldn't take it. I was greedy. I wanted literally like the best of both worlds, dark yellow. So my first heartbreak was, what year was this? I think let's say like 2005, 2004, 2005. That was my first heartbreak. She's had like 5 million children now. She looks older than my mother. How long did your first relationship last? It depends. Relationship, the one with sex or the one without sex. My first serious relationship, right? Is that, yeah? Cynthia was 4 years. The same Cynthia. She was my first love, and she was but Vicky now lasted longer than her, but she was my, so let's say 4 years, around 4 years, yeah. That was my first serious relationship. I've lost a lot of good women. Last question. Don't be young and dumb. When you meet a good woman, stay with her. That's why I'm miserable right now. Also, your first career aspiration? All I wanted to do was be a broadcaster. In fact, when I was about to take my jam, I remember my grandmother telling me to fill in law, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't want to do it. My father came to me, I was like, don't. And that's something that a lot of people need to learn. Let your child make his own mistakes. And I was like, if I want to do, he knows that I want to be a broadcaster. If that's what I want to do, that I should do it. Do what you want to do. Don't let anybody. I've always wanted to be a broadcaster. I've always wanted to be an OAP. This is the only thing I really know how to do. I'm not good at a lot of things. I don't mix much. I'm not good with relationships. I'm not good at a lot of things. But when it comes to opening that mic, there are a few that can do it as well as I can do it. This is all I've ever wanted to do. I tried other things before, but I wasn't happy. It wasn't it. I was making more money doing diesel supply and all. It wasn't it for me. This is what I've always wanted to do. So this has always been my career aspiration, and this is what I want to do. Finally, so my name is Kshow. You already know. I just gave out a lot of firsts. I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoy.